All right.
Hey, we're back from the nether, I guess?
I don't know where they left off.
The wither, I'm not sure either.
I've been staring at a preview of this room.
Yes, we've been here for, God, at least an hour here.
Yeah.
Welcome to Tinker Tailor Soldier Fry here on the mighty Loading Ready Run Video Entertainment Network. My name's Ian.
I'm Beej.
And today we have something special for you that we've been holding on to for way too long.
Yeah, actually, I agree.
Well, now, first of all, before we get too deeply into that, when it comes to the bathroom, do not hold it way too long. You can actually cause permanent damage.
That's right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You should just go. You know, and if you can't go, then just tell the employee that if they don't let you into the bathroom because it's only for people who are buying stuff, that you are more than happy to just take a dump in front of the business. And that changes their mind pretty fast.
No one can stop you there.
You have to show that you have nothing to lose.
I mean, in this day and age.
Maybe you don't have to say that you'd be more than happy.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to, like, really emphasize your happiness that much.
I'm gonna put on, I've got a balaclava in my pocket, and I'm gonna put it on so your cameras have no idea who I am, and I'm gonna make a mess of your stoop.
Did we get an artist's representation of that ass? Ass?
Trying all that hair.
Yeah.
Sorry, in this scenario, you're going up to the person
Please let me into the washroom.
and saying, please let me into the washroom. They say no. You say, okay, I'm going to go away and then come back wearing a balaclava.
Oh, no.
So that you will not know who I am.
I'm going to go outside. I'm going to put on a balaclava right now and then walk outside and take a dump.
So
maintaining eye contact the whole time.
Yeah.
Thereby obscuring your identity.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, I mean the security cameras would have no idea. This man went in. Someone went in to this building, and then a man in a balaclava came out.
I think the one thing I did do one time is I walked up and like, could you please, like, I really need to use your washroom, and they're like, it's normally just for customers. I said, we're about to have a very terrible situation. Please let me do this. I will buy whatever you want on the way out.
Yep.
And they're like, I'll just let you in. I'm like, thank you. And then I just do it. And then they're like, and then I come out and they're like, it's fine. Just leave.
And then you go, oh, I'm so sorry, but I also clogged the bath.
Yeah.
The toilet.
You know,
goodbye.
you have that sound of breaking porcelain. That was me.
Oh, toilet.
So, toilets.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow, that took me right out of it. So we have something special for you. You have something special for us, the employees of Bionic Trousers.
Yeah.
What are we doing to the toilet today?
So I am deep in the Washlet cult, and so I said, when we move, I'm getting a Washlet, and I did. And there is I believe it's a Toto C300.
No, that's correct, because Washlet is much like Kleenex and Velcro, a completely meaningless legal construct that we refer to all devices of that particular ilk by.
It's a trademark.
Yeah, thank you. That's what the law calls it.
A trademark, yes.
But it's a bidet.
Yeah.
Or at least an electronic bidet for your aftermarket.
It's a toilet-mounted bidet seat. Yeah, I think it's how they refer to it.
2-in-1, because usually those bidets can be pretty clean on their own. I've found.
Yeah.
At least they are in movies. I don't know.
Yeah, and I mean, there's when we were moving in and we were doing, because this is that bathroom that we're going to install this thing in, was like, we're going to start from scratch. Like, we have to have a toilet in there and everything else too, and there was a whole thing with that. And briefly, I was like, do I actually buy another Toto toilet, and buy a Toto washlet seat to go with it? Do I just buy the whole integrated unit?
Because Toto makes a hell of a toilet. They're the only people who use miso as an analog for human feces.
Yes, that's right.
To measure and to research better flushing technologies.
Yeah, because miso's very sticky. Like, it doesn't want to go down. So
they found it's the closest analog to the worst type of shit that you can flush.
Yeah, and when we were in Mark V, I had purchased. We were doing an upgrade to our bathroom in there, and so I purchased a Toto toilet to go in there, and the one that I bought had tornado flush, TM. And I was like, perfect. This is what I want. And at some point, we'll get the washlet seat for it. And by the time we'd kind of gotten, we knew there was a point during the pandemic where it was like, man, because the pandemic lasted a long time, right?
A lot longer than we all thought it would.
Did we spend like practically 2 years out of Mark V? It felt like it. Yeah, we felt like 2 whole years that we were not really there all the time. And so it didn't make sense to be like, let's go buy a washlet seat and install it and use that, because we're not really going to make use of it. So when we come in here, it's like everyone's going to come back. And the whole tornado flush thing, by the way, is that they have channels on the side, because normally when a toilet like drops water, there's a bunch of holes underneath the rim that just basically drop water. Yeah, and then it all, depending on your side of the world,
Coriolis effect causes that to occur.
It just kind of all starts turning, right? And so what they had is they have the water would drop, and there'd be 2 channels on the side of the toilet that the water would come down, and that would cause it to go a lot faster, and there'd be a rush of water that was supposed to basically like, now you, instead of like little tiny bits of water that are coming around and joining together, it's like it's just 2 great big channels of water coming down.
So this is just like a boost to the effect, the Coriolis effect itself, to the whirlpooling.
Just it basically like, we're gonna get this thing sped up, and so it's like, this is really cool.
Is that like when you empty a bottle of water by like giving it the swirl?
Yes. Yeah, I think that was what they were going for. Yeah, it's that kind of like, and then so.
I'm amazed because that's the sort of technology that they would absolutely have to geo sell.
Yeah. When we moved in here, I purchased this, and it's been sitting in the washroom since we moved in, because I kept trying to be like, when am I going to find time to do this? I want to, like, when we come at it and we're going to do it, I'm like, maybe we do it during a Tinker Tailor, maybe we don't. And then like for August, it's like I am too busy doing stuff in August all the way up to like PAX, and then I got COVID. And then, so I was out for 2 weeks from that, and then it's like, now I'm going to MagicCon, and I come back from that, and I'm like, there's got to be a time I can do this. It's like, well, the Sub-a-thon's coming up. I'm like, you know what? Give Ian and I 2 hours. That'll be enough time, because I've installed a washlet before.
In your own home?
In my own home.
Yes.
I found a used one on Used Victoria, and I went and picked it up. And
Nothing touches the body, people.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Exactly. I went and picked it up. I cleaned it up. And all I had to do was ask my electrician. I thought it was very clever. There was an outlet on the same wall that I wanted, but it was outside. And I said, can you just take that outlet and like put it on the inside?
Flip it.
And he says, actually, you have enough spaces in there. I can just put another box on the back of it. So
Double up?
You can have an outlet on the one side outside of your bathroom. You can have the same outlet on this side. I said, put a GFCI on it. He's like, absolutely. That's like, I'm glad you know what you're talking about. And I'm like, yes. And so he put that in, and then I did the rest of the work. And it took about a half hour of being very careful and trying to do everything properly. So we've got 2 hours.
We've got plenty of time to make this work and do it properly.
And we brought in a whole bunch of extra tools that we don't need.
Yes.
But if we do need them, then we'll see how this...
Maybe we'll show them to you.
Yeah, exactly.
Just to eat up some time.
To make it worth it, because we might not need all this
So
time.
we're not doing it here. Shall we transition over to the operating theater?
Absolutely.
Great.
Have fun storming the castle.
Thanks. Now, some of you might be wondering as well. It's like, well, how are you going to know? How are you going to know that we're talking to you? And so we've got an iPad here that has you on it.
We brought you on.
Yeah.
I mean, we can show you. You know what you look like.
Yeah. So we're just going to have this in here, but we're not going to be able to see you a lot, because if we're staying busy, we're probably not looking over at the iPad all the time.
No.
But let's start with reading the instructions.
We should always do that.
Yeah.
Well, let's get the box out.
Okay, cool.
So we did do the important thing, which is to open your box to make sure that all the parts are available and are in the box, because otherwise you got to send it back and it takes a while.
Exactly. We don't want to have that happen. We're in a bathroom, so there's going to be lots of reverb.
Yeah. The fan doesn't turn off.
Nope.
So
It runs forever. That's part of the thing. We're not supposed to install this in boats and RVs. We're not supposed to do anything that could damage the power cord. And don't exceed the rated capacity of electrical outlets or wiring equipment. And I believe
we have
an outlet.
We do have an outlet.
I think it's on the same circuit as the GFCI, so it is acceptable. I believe that was what got brought up.
We didn't go arc faults, did we?
No, because apparently, according to the Canadian Electrical Code, ground fault circuit interrupters, GFCIs, are what you use in bathrooms and kitchens. Arc fault, AFCIs, are what you use in bedrooms now. Because two different things occur, and that's how they look at it's like they're for two different reasons, right? And so when I'd asked my electrician about it, he's like, AFCIs are not, because a ground fault interrupt and an arc fault interrupt are two completely different things that happen with electrical whatever. And you want your arc fault ones installed in your bedroom because that's where you get, like, if you have a fire, then those things will stop. But if you put a GFCI in your bedroom, it wouldn't have any effect on that, obviously.
Now remember, this is all based on code, which again is not necessarily always best practices. It's just what code is.
Yeah, it's like this is the minimum you have to do, and now every new construction apparently in Canada has to have AFCIs in the bedroom.
And that was what the research I've been doing has been saying that the AFCI is what you want if you can everywhere.
Oh, okay.
Arc fault everything, because that's the one that starts the fires.
Right.
It's the GFCI, that's the one that keeps you from getting yourself electrocuted when you touch a toaster wrong.
Right, and if you're in a wet area, there's a greator chance that that's going to happen to you than having a fire happen in your wall, I guess.
But I do believe you can get combination AFCI, GFCI circuit adapters that go into the panel, which is even better.
Yeah.
But anyway, we got a GFCI circuit here going on.
Yeah, it's all supposed to work properly. So what's supposed to be included in here is obviously the seat itself, the setup kit, and then the remote control.
That's a much better place for you guys.
Yeah. I did not opt for, because the choices were when we were going to buy this, I have the one at the home that has the remote control mounted on the wall, and I like that a lot better. And I felt that that would also be a lot better for people, rather than being like, I have to reach down, I have to move over, I have to, if you're a person of particular girth, you might actually end up not being able to see the controls. So I'm like, we're going to put them on the wall. I think while we're at it, we're going to move this out a bit.
Are we?
But that's a secondary. This is a stretch goal.
Okay.
Because there was some conversation about this might not. We've got a toilet stool that's not in here right now, but we have a toilet stool as well. Because again, I was like, I'm gonna poop the way I want to poop.
Get your legs up is what happens.
Exactly, right?
Both of them.
But your knees, when they come up, kind of bump into this a bit. So it's like if we can move this out a hair, then it will be easier on people. We won't have that same kind of problem. I mean, the other thing we could do, I guess, is move it over to here, but I don't really want to do anything to that. So let's have a look. What's in the box?
Now, I prefer the panels on my, not that I use a Washlet myself, but I prefer the panels to the side, just because it's always reminded me of like being a Starfleet officer on the Enterprise. You get your little side consoles to go up.
Yeah. I definitely get the appeal. So we have an instruction manual.
Okay. This is the user's manual essentially. Yeah. It says instruction on it, but this is how we use it after we've got everything.
Yeah. And then we have the remote control right here, and it looks like the remote control comes with the
batteries are included.
Yeah, it comes with batteries.
Amazing.
They have wall anchors. I think there's screws inside here, and there's also the mounting piece. There's like a little thing so you can mount that to the wall, and then this thing clicks onto it and holds it there. There's also an anti-theft thing, because that means if you install this in a public area, that if somebody's going to walk home with this, you could actually just screw it. The anti-theft thing holds it in place then. So we're not going to worry too much about that.
You ever wanted a toilet with energy saver?
I mean, I have one now. Right?
Oh,
and now I have one that works, right? It is kind of cool, because this is a heated seat.
Yeah.
And so what it does is it learns when you like to go to the bathroom. And so it will...
Fuzzy!
Yeah, it will figure out, based on how long it's been since you've gone, if it's like, do I need to heat the seat? And if it heats the seat, then... Because today I went in to use my washroom at home, and because I was up at a weird time, it was like I'm using it at 11 o'clock in the morning, and it's like it's an ice cold seat, and I'm like, I'm not used to that.
No, you don't want that.
Like, I'm very used to like a very mild heat on my seat. And you might not think that makes a bit of a difference, but when it is like 3 in the morning and you get out from bed, the last thing you want to do is like cold seat it. So yeah, because you're trying to stay as sleepy as possible so you can go back to bed, right? So this is the piece that will go on the. This piece goes.
That goes on the toilet.
Yeah, it goes on the
Up
toilet there where the seat is, and then everything clicks into
This is
this.
essentially the interface.
Yeah, and there's a whole bunch of mounting stuff. This is the new style T.
Yeah.
So we'll have to get that installed as well. All of the screws and everything, it looks like, are included,
Okay,
like bolts
good,
and all that we need. There are bumps that are supposed to be included. Maybe those are part of the thing that you have. They might be.
Yes, the bump stop. The
There's little stoppers.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that bit.
Are they in there?
Yep, there it is.
Okay, there's a little
It's
tiny
a
bump in there.
Tiny little.
Yeah, it's just
silicone
meant
bump.
to even out the seat. There's the manuals we're reading, and then there's this thing.
Which is your instruction sheet.
Yeah, this is really funny because the remote. Do you want maybe? Can you show them the remote?
Well,
closer?
I mean, if, let's have a look here. Move to the secondary camera, and I'll see if I can focus up on that. There we go.
There's all this iconography, obviously. You can kind of get a sense of what it is.
I'm very concerned as to why there's a 1 and a 2 person. Like, are these separate setting levels for different people?
You can save user settings. Oh. So I have mine saved at home.
Great.
So
there's the focus plane.
and then you can do this with it. Is that this thing mounts in behind the thing on the back, so that I hope it's readable.
Yep.
But it's meant to explain what all of the settings are that you're currently looking at. And so yeah, I mean, when I got home with mine, and it was used, remember, when I got home with mine, I just kept the same batteries in it, and I haven't had to change them. They don't get used that
Well,
much.
it's an infrared device. Oh my god, it's an infrared device.
No, it's RF.
Oh, is it RF?
It is RF.
So why the black end?
I don't know, but it's RF, and so when you use it, it just makes the thing happen, which is great.
Well, that actually makes me a little sad because I've got hardware available to
read it?
to centralize IR stuff. If you ever wanted to, make this part of an intelligent home.
We could just turn on the. Well, I guess you can't because there's also a safety switch built into the seat. Somebody has to be applying pressure to the seat. They didn't say sitting on it. They just have to apply pressure to the seat in order to make the thing active.
I am aware of that particular type of safety system because that is, back in 1996 when I went on an exchange trip to Japan.
Right. Had
to test the Washlet that our family had. I'm like, doesn't work. Oh, push the seat. Now it's spraying me in the face.
Yeah, exactly. So now we need required items, which is 1 Phillips head screwdriver, 1 tape measure, 1 glass, 1 cloth. It says use B4 to prevent damage to the product. So I'm like, I guess you use the cloth to wipe it off. I don't know. 1 drill so that we can drill into the wall to mount the thing, and then 1 basin, which I've brought a pot for so that we can catch water for it. And it basically the whole thing here looks like you just you plug the plug into the wall. The shutoff valve, which is behind your foot right there, that's gonna get disconnected from the toilet
because it's gonna double snake itself.
Yeah, it's gonna run into the T, and then there's this C. I don't know what C5 is, but I think that's there's a little switch on the side of the washlet that you use to connect and release it from the thing because it does really just snap in. Like this might go really really fast. It literally
9 steps.
Yeah, it's really easy.
That's fewer steps than than the model I'm currently working on.
So let's go through all this. There's a thing that says tasks that must be conducted by the installer, and then workflow direction, actions that the product should perform automatically. That's good.
Remember, kids, read your recipe before starting your cooking.
Yeah. So the first thing we were going to have to do is we'll close that shutoff valve.
Okay.
Once we do that, we'll put the basin underneath. And we're supposed to take the hose off. Now, one thing they missed is close the shutoff valve, flush the toilet to drain the tank.
That's important too.
Yes.
I'm concerned if we could just bring maybe this up on camera too here as well. Why are those 2 little things dripping like that? Are we supposed to get these wet?
I think we are.
Okay.
I have to assume that's what because I think it's so that they can go through easier.
Generally, I don't. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because generally, I don't like putting wet things in places where they will never get dry.
Exactly.
Also interesting is that they don't want you to add any silicone tape to the new tee.
That surprised me too. Yeah, I was really like, but the nice thing too is they're like, you don't need to wrench this.
Yes, that's really vital.
I was like, okay, so that's really good. So the biggest problem here is that when we have to disconnect that, we have to be able to get it off, which hopefully it's been tightened by hand, and that we can actually loosen it by hand as well, because that's as tight as it should be. And then we'll connect it through the tee and everything. If it's been cranked on, then that might be a problem. So we'll see what happens.
Well, I mean, let's start our adventure, I guess.
Yeah, because we'll need to get the seat off, and that's step 0. I think, is get the seat off. Because then after we do the basin, because you'll take the hose off, you get your basin underneath to catch any extra water that might be left. You put your tee on, and then you connect the water supply to that. And now you've basically, it's like, okay, so that part's taken care of. For the seat, we pop the big black.
Yeah, we put the little black plugs in.
Yeah, we put the black plugs in after they've been moistened a bit, just to make them, I guess, a little less dry. And then once the plugs are in, we have to mount the beige thing on.
Get that back under the manual there to have a look at, because I do love the little eyeball in the upper right there. If you
and they're like, visually confirm,
this way
like this.
There we are.
Visually confirm that you've got the front and the back the right way around.
Just get your eyeball right up there.
And so then there's 2 extra pieces that get held in place with the bolts, because that's
keyed too.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So you have to catch them on the key. Make sure they catch in the key, that they're not off, and you have to make sure this thing is centered. And they're telling you need to have it about here, you need to have it about here, and like make sure everything is about where it needs to be, so that when you screw everything into place, and that's where we're going to need the tape measure to make sure, then you know that you've got it exactly where you want it to be. And we might end up getting it in there, putting the seat on, and realizing that the seat is maybe like sticking out a little too far in one direction, and we might have to pull it back. Yeah, so might have to align stuff a little bit more. So it says align the center of C1 and A8 and adjust the mounting position of A10, right? So I have to measure all these things to make sure it all is centered perfectly.
I'm loving the diagram.
Yeah.
Circular nature.
It's very, it's very like golden ratio, right? We screw in the things nice and tight to make sure that it's down as far as it needs to be.
But not so tight that we crack the plastic.
Exactly. And then now we're already on to 8, and it's just slide the thing into place and you will hear it click. After it's mounted, make sure that it cannot be removed even if it is pulled. Because once you're on it and move around, you don't want to slide forward and then you get hurt. A whole bunch of check to make sure none of these things are true, because it needs to be like not off. It needs to be perfectly aligned and straight and everything else. And if so, then it's like you're going to have to press that button. You're going to have to slide it out and go back to step 5 and fix it all.
It can be removed. That's important.
Exactly, and pretty simple too. Right? It's just a button there. In step 10, then you attach the washlet to the tee. Again, you hand tighten that thing and make sure that you got it completely straight. Make sure that when you open the back, it doesn't bump into the thing, which I'm like, okay, that's fair. But you can. It also, I guess, wants you to put that little bumper on the back of the tank.
I think that's the idea there, is that so you don't damage the lid of the washlet.
That's fair.
And bang against.
And after that, it's plug it in, which means that when you do it, they're like, well, make sure that you're running the cable in a way that makes sense. Do not run it around the back where it can get wet. Run it directly to the floor.
More than likely, it's not because there's going to be a short. It's just that you do not want to have to clean a power cord of urine every 3 months or however long it is that you personally like to take before.
And then there's pinching and stuff. If you move around, you might pinch the cord and everything. And after that, it's just moving on to how you mount the remote control and using the template and stuff. And you don't even get to open the water shutoff valve until step 18.
And when it comes to testing.
Yeah, exactly. And it shows you how to do that, and you kind of step through the thing, use the glass to catch stuff, and that'll be the most fun part. And that's it. Then we'll have assembled it.
I'm excited.
Good, me too. All right, so then I guess we start with the first thing, which is going to be, we can close the water shutoff valve and flush it to get all the water out of everywhere.
I think that's what we want to do, because if you do end up screwing up completely and just destroying that tank, at least then we won't have water to deal with on top of that.
Yeah, And then we have to take the seat off.
Yes. The first bits here.
Okay.
I'm going to make sure that our shot is good and you can see everything that's going on here.
I'm going to move this a bit sideways so that we're not kind of walking into it all the time.
And I'm just taking it down just a bit there so that we can see the pipe as we go in.
Is that good? Do you have a socket set?
I do.
Because we might need a socket set to remove this because it doesn't look like it's just clearly it's inaccessible from the top. I think they're accessible from the bottom.
Let's do this in the most dangerous, least sanitary, and most possible to lose things way we can.
Great, I'm down.
So we need the screwdriver.
Yes, we'll need a Phillips head screwdriver.
Right.
That's a Phillips head screwdriver.
Yep, that's what I like to use to make holes in my walls too.
You have a tape measure.
measure,
We'll need
yeah.
that. And then we'll need a socket or a wrench to take the thing off.
Yeah, see, this is a Toto, so it's going to be metric if anything.
True.
Let's see if that's big enough.
Let's see if that's also going to be metric.
Well, that's not big enough to get over top of that hole, which means, and that's 50 millimeters.
Do you have a...
We don't have anything bigger than 15 millimeters, but we do have an adjustable wrench.
Right.
Which is what we'll probably end up having to use here.
Okay.
I think that's it.
Did you want to do the seat, or do you want to... I want us to feel like we're trading off things to do.
Yeah, I'm going to let you do as much as you want to do here, but what I will do for you is I'll turn off this... Oh! Well, that's interesting.
Is it just a quarter turn?
It's just a quarter turn, and it's not even a full wing.
Oh, weird.
It looks like a teardrop shape that we use for the water.
All right. Well,
That's
let's flush the toilet. Yes.
Hooray. And let's check to make sure that we are not getting any... Is that supposed to be?
Which?
The piece of brass. The brass spring that's just sitting there.
Just kind of laying in there?
Yeah.
Oh, isn't that weird? Don't know what that's about.
Or what it's for. Maybe it's just there to
Doesn't go in there. Okay.
add some
Oh,
ballast.
there's another one way over here, it looks like. Yep, there's another one right over here. Don't know what that's about.
Wow.
Should we leave them in there? They were there.
Yes, let's leave them there for someone else to be confused by them in the future.
Yeah, why not? Okay.
Do we want to get those on camera just to
Yeah, show everybody else.
yeah, just so they can see what it is that we're talking about here.
Don't know why these were here.
Why would that be in a toilet? Does anyone know?
Yeah.
Put your answers in the comments below.
Yeah.
Congrats, our toilet is broke. Oh, hold up. I think they go on the top here.
Okay. Yeah, they're supposed to do this. Right, because they said when you're doing an install in a location like this, what you're supposed to have is you're supposed to have a how do they put it? A tamper-proof tank in commercial installations.
And so that's what this would tamper-proof the tank.
These are supposed to go in here. They're supposed to catch on these screws.
Ah.
And then you use a special screwdriver to pull the screws out.
So that way we can keep Alex from doing a second
upper decker.
Yeah.
Well, maybe fuck it. I guess we'll just leave them in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
In case we ever need to put that back.
Yeah. Then we know where they are.
Well, hey, we learned something today.
We did. All right. We'll probably make it. Okay. Let's see.
Yeah, I didn't adjust those myself, but because they are too tight for hand.
Now, lefty loosey. But which way is lefty loosey?
You're gonna want to pull it.
I feel like I need to go this. Oh yeah, that's it.
Yep.
That lets it out. Okay. There we go.
I think I failed that area of
get
my
that one on
standardized
that side?
tests. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
You want to come towards you, I guess. Yeah.
oh yeah.
These are very long. I promise you we weren't just hanging out, like, dicking around because we were afraid to take stuff apart. It was literally like, do it all carefully so we don't mess things up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Is it coming loose?
Yep.
Great.
Got it. What a terrible little nut.
All right. Let's get these back on so we don't lose them.
Patent pending. That said, I don't think we'll be using these.
No, probably not.
I mean,
But if somebody needs a toilet seat,
if we want to sell this toilet.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Ooh, yep. There's a lot of mung on there.
Yeah.
Cool. Don't touch your face until the end of the stream.
Yeah. Okay.
Challenge.
Right. We should have maybe cleaned this.
We should have put on some gloves.
Nah.
Okay, I'm gonna wipe the little holes here with some
Cool.
toilet paper, just so that we can get rid of some of that dried on urine.
There. I'm just gonna sit this thing over there. That's a great place for that.
Go, and do not throw that back in the toilet because it will not clear.
Oh right, you got to get rid of it somehow.
Yeah. Well, I'll be back.
Okay.
Right back.
Yeah. Throw it in the other toilet.
Hey.
We have 2 toilets. We are fancy like that. Okay, so we've closed the water shutoff valve. Some water has drained into there. Step 2 is to disconnect disconnect this thing, which I probably do not have the hand strength to do. How's your hand strength?
Fine, I think.
Okay.
Do you want me to try something?
I think you
here?
might have to try turning that, yeah.
Okay.
Because I don't, and I got a little wet because my hands are wet. If you can't do that, I have a...
Got it.
Oh, great. Is it dripping into the basin?
I'm gonna make sure that it does.
Okay.
You ever wanted to get into the trades and become a plumber?
Make good money that way, is my understanding.
All right, there we go. Is now dripped into the
Oh, good.
thing.
So there wasn't that much left.
Not at all.
Great.
Not at all.
Okay. Okay. Second step is...
Let's take a deep breath.
Yeah.
Be aware of the camera.
Yeah.
Second step is... That was the second step.
What's the...
Step 2-2
Great.
is now when you install the T and screw it up into the toilet.
I'm going to give it a shot.
Yeah.
Great. And because it's all standardized stuff, it should just...
It's not standard American, but
Yeah.
standardized at least.
Please catch, for F's sake. I remember having some trouble with this with the one at home too, so...
Ooh, and you got to make sure you're not cross-threaded too.
Yeah.
That's always worryful.
I think... Alright, I think I have it as tight as my fingers will get it on there,
Okay.
so that's good.
And then you just attach the pipe to the bottom.
Oh dear.
And then you do not turn the water back on yet.
Okay. I'm putting a bit of a bend in the supply line, but it's stainless steel and I think it can take it.
That's what they're for. I'd be worried more about the origin
Yeah.
piping, which appears to be just semi-transparent plastic.
Oh, the PEX. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just, I think it's just PEX. Basically screw it until it's as tight as it's going to get.
Yep.
That is weird that it's just PEX coming out of the wall like that. But
I don't like it.
no, I don't like it either, but whatever.
Okay, you did it. Let's moisten next up.
The black nubs.
Yeah, we want to moisten the black nubs
Okay.
and then insert the black nubs.
Ooh, they gave us a little thing you can tug.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That's part of the process.
Yeah. There we go. And then you have to fish it out through the hole and do that side. Lovely.
You know, a lesser company would have just tossed all of these individual bags into the box and
Yeah.
left it at that.
Yeah. I do like that there's a little yellow thing. It says, request to the installer, be sure to attach cushioning pads. That's the cushioning pad. So I don't know if you can see. The little clear white one down here,
Yeah, it's just a tiny little...
that's the thing we were looking for. There's that little white dot which is going to go right here, I have a feeling.
It gets its own bag.
Yeah, to reduce the Be sure to attach cushioning pads in order to reduce the sound that is created when the toilet seat lid hits against the toilet
Oh,
tank
it's
window
just
perimeter
about
wall.
the sound.
That's Japan.
Oh, no. Well, how do I increase the sound then?
I guess we leave it off, or we get some of those little gunpowder things. We just mount those and we just bang every time.
So I'm excited by the nubs. They're just, little these. They're flared at the end, so they're safe. But what I really like the most is that they have brass threading on the other side, so they will actually be able to make a good grab, I think.
Right, because what happens when you shove the thing in the hole and you start tightening it, they shrink up.
And then these balls will expand out.
Yeah, they go bloop, bloop, bloop.
Ah,
yeah, it's real cool.
Just looking at the toilet here, the porcelain, it seems to be about that thick, meaning it's going to
it might catch between
it's
both
going to get
of
a
those.
bubble on both sides.
I don't know how deep do you put them in?
Flush.
It is flush.
The manual says just straight
look,
flush.
They're
to
flush.
the end.
Okay, yeah, let's get them a little damp and.
All right. There's one.
Okay. Put it on that side, and then we thump it in, and then we thump it in.
Oh, simple.
I feel like it was made to do this. Thump that in, thump that in. Look at that.
Love it.
Right.
All right.
Next step.
Step 4. You're going to need this,
Okay.
which is. May I see that again?
Yeah.
This is an amazing piece of. It is technology.
Yeah.
An amazing artifact. So, I'm looking at here. I think there's a spring under there, I'm guessing.
Just knowing that it's like, we know we had to make something to be able to get this thing on, and all other toilet seats are just drop the bolts and put the thing in, but they're like, no, we need something to actually hold this in place and really be like strong and immovable.
This is significant in terms of its polypropylene. You got a nice gasket on the back here.
Yeah, yeah.
That just covers the whole thing. And
I actually don't think mine had a gasket on it.
That's what happens when you buy things used.
Yeah,
folks.
exactly. All right, so this would go on here, and it will go probably, it'll have to go in a way that...
Now, use your eyeballs.
Yeah.
Do you have back and front set correctly?
I have used my eyeballs. Front is this way, back is that way.
Then that's the way it's supposed to be, I guess.
Cool.
All right.
And I see they're kind of the adjusting things are to be like, yes, because the toilet seat holes might have got drilled slightly off center, like on this one.
Drilled or just formed, actually?
I guess however they put them in. Like, I don't know how they actually do that. Maybe the form is off or something. But yeah, this thing, when you kind of measure it out straight, doesn't end up quite straight. But that's fine because everything compensates.
I'm going to hand you your next piece of equipment here, which are these 2 combs, which beautifully metal.
Oh yeah, they go in the middle of the thing here, don't they?
And I'm going to give you a measuring device so you can make sure that they are 3/4 of an inch from the side marked front, or 19 millimeters.
So they have to be 3/4 of an inch from the side?
No, from the front.
From the front.
This is from the side marked front.
I gotta look at that. They are, okay, so.
Yeah, center your
Right.
your things in the bracket.
That looks like that's where they're supposed to go according to where the holes are.
And then move the entire bracket. Or actually, no, let's just make sure, they're 19 inches, or 19 millimeters, or 3/4 of an inch from that edge.
That one is about 3/4 of an inch. This one will not be 3/4 of an inch.
Okay.
This one will be about an inch.
Okay, what I think you want to do is move the bracket. So that
we
it
want
is
to say that
centered.
it is 3/4 of an inch centered.
And then move the entire...
Like do that?
Yes.
Okay. That's weird, because then why do they give you so many other spots where the comb can sit if it's supposed to go dead center?
I think that's for if there is a problem later on.
Oh, okay. They want you to start this way.
Yeah.
Okay, well, okay, then I will start this way.
Do it the way that they say.
Yeah.
Align center of C1 and A8. Adjust the mounting positions of A10. Okay, so now center it all up.
Okay, so align C1, which is the bowl, and then A8 is the unit, and A10s are the mounting plates.
So now you can adjust the mounting plates.
Oh, interesting.
But first, before you do that, and here's why this is important, I think. You need to hand tighten these bolts in.
Okay.
I'll help you out
I'm
here.
gonna drop them in now. So they kind of just sitting in, they hit the brass, but they kind of just sit in there loose. Okay.
You can get it into the brass a bit too, but just enough so that you can now make a good, honest assessment about whether or not things are centered. And you want things to be centered both in the X and the Y axis.
It's so weird, right? Because when I look at it, I'm like, I feel like this side needs to come forward more. Like this needs to.
I think you're right.
Yeah. So maybe we need to take that out a bit, take that a little bit more. And we need to do that so that I can do that.
Does it look straight to you?
Well, if we measure it from
From the top to the tank.
oh, that makes a lot more sense. Yeah. If I measure from the top to the tank, and we bring that forward as much as we can, that is 45 millimeters. Oh, the tank curves. Fuck me. Oh, it's 45 dead across if I do it like that. It just means that it's like, it looks like it's angled a little differently. God, they don't. How far are the friggin' holes from the edge of the... Okay, how far are the holes if I go straight back?
That's a good question.
Yeah, that's 80. That's 70. So they are off. Yeah, actually that's 75 and that one's 70. So they are slightly off. So I did need to move that one back slightly.
Yeah.
Right? Like when you look at it, when you eyeball it, it looks straight now, doesn't it?
Yeah, now it looks good and straight and centered-ish.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Now is the moment where we tighten those screws.
Okay, let's do that.
Failure to tighten A10 completely will cause moving sideways of C1, and we don't want any sideways moving of C1.
Absolutely not. I think we're getting pretty... We're not hand tight, or I mean, we're not screwdriver tight yet, so we'll just keep working on
Take a
this.
few minutes.
Yeah. They have to crush, so...
I think this might only be the second longest amount of time I've spent with you in a bathroom.
Yeah?
We had to do that shoot a while back before our old improv troupe.
Oh, yeah.
Alrighty.
It's weird, right? Because I'm like, the longer I keep going, I'm like, I know that there's a point by which all of these things are going to, like, crush in. I just have this feeling it's like, well, keep going until you can't go anymore, because otherwise it will move, right?
Yeah. And that's exactly what we're told we do not want.
Yeah. We want everything to really get held in place.
And
nice
remember,
tight.
you're really you're working up against some.
Excuse me.
That's right, proper place for it. Mm-hmm. You're working up against the gasket underneath. Is what I was.
Man, you can really like this freaking thing is just really, really like grinding. Like, you hear that?
Oh yeah.
I'm like, I don't know. That's internal. Or it's rubbing on the metal here, maybe.
That I think that would be more likely the case.
Oh my god. Like, I don't think that's gonna move, but how tight can I get this? I don't want to go so hard that it's like, okay, that's as tight as that one goes. Good. This one, that one's camming out. I think that's as tight as I'm gonna get that
I think
one.
you're good.
Okay, good. And you can just see here, and it's hard maybe on this one, you can't really see too well, but you can see how it's starting to bulge a bit because the internal bulb, the second of the two bulbs that was on that black thing is actually inside here, and it's actually starting to come up through the bottom. So
Get there.
yeah, you can kind of see how the flange has come up a little bit. It's not sitting completely flush because the ball that was inside that was nice and like a ball has now crushed, and it's trying to come up through the bottom. So I guess it's doing what it's supposed to be doing. But that's the last time we should need a screwdriver for a while.
Yeah, but until we need to make some holes in the wall.
Yeah.
I still think we're going to have to move that
We
holder.
are going to move it.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah, Graham had also said this thing needs to move over like a few inches, so it's like, okay, we'll do that.
Well, that's step 7 done.
Okay.
Are you
Feeling all right about that?
Pages were sticky there for a second. I guess this is where the excitement happens. We're looking at step 8. Insert C1 into A8 until a click sound is heard. Make sure that it cannot be removed even if it is pulled.
C1 is the seat.
C1 is the seat.
So the seat goes in.
Yep.
Okay.
Pretty easy
I'm going to
section.
hand you that.
Thank you.
I'm going to hand you this.
Thank you.
I'm going to hand you a couple more things of documentation.
Yeah, you're going to need to fill up your warranty card too.
Oh, okay. We'll get on there.
I think we'll have to. I will get in close.
There is, so this, I'm pretty sure this thing has been tested.
Oh.
Do you know how I know this? Because it was
How?
brand new from the factory. Because there's a few little water droplets on the inside of the plastic bag.
Interesting.
So I think they did a water test on this to make sure that it actually works properly.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I've never seen that before, but all right. So if anyone's interested, this is the time to get a sense of how this works. So you've got your, right? It is just what you expect. It's just a seat. Feels weird to sit in a seat like this too, because it's a little, the shape at the back curves up. And so the whole thing kind of curves up like it's like a big duckbill. It's got this massive piece on the side, massive thing on the back, obviously with the stuff coming out of it.
Good. Everything's coming out on the right side, so we don't have to run anything behind the tank.
Isn't that good? And so underneath, sorry, I keep bumping my mic. These hooks are going to catch on the hooks inside there, and then this is the thing that when it comes out. This is the thing that'll come out and actually spray your undercarriage. Yeah, that's the nozzle.
And the other one's just there for...
I'm not sure what that's for. I think it might be the dryer.
They look like they're keyed holes.
Okay, well, they might be for something else then.
Anyway, I'm just going to lower my microphone down here so you can hear the click.
Okay, and then I'm going to try to get this thing centered. It is not have a lot of play, but it has a little bit. Ready?
Yep.
Let's try this. Hang on.
I think it already clicked.
It clicked in. It didn't even make a click. God damn it!
Oh.
I want a satisfying click, but that's close enough. Whatever.
The satisfaction will come later.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. So now we have to. Step 9 is to visually check everything. Read out some things that I'm supposed to be checking, I guess. Like,
Can do.
okay.
So let's start with let's have a look at the seat end. Is the nubbin of the actual seat itself. Oh, this has revealed quite a bit of information already for us.
It is curved, or it is off. I have seat visible here, and there's seat missing on this side.
So
So it needs to turn a little
Yeah,
bit.
the right side needs to go back even more, or front side needs to come forward. But,
Yeah.
big question, seat. Your little nubs on the front of the seat
Yeah.
that hold the seat up, are they in
These two?
front of the lip, or are they on the edge? They
They
look like
are
they're on.
they are on the edge.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That's good.
The rear one is
Your ones shouldn't,
yeah.
don't matter, apparently, according to this
Okay,
guide.
fair. The right ones are landing on the lip of the bowl though.
Yep, that's what we want.
Okay.
The back side, is this bit pushed up unnecessarily at all?
Like it's rising off?
Yeah.
It is not. It is sitting right on the bowl.
Flush.
This one is a little high on this side, but maybe that will even. It's not. God, it's just up, like you could just slip a couple pieces of paper in there.
Okay, as long as it's not resting on any plastic pieces, is what I'm saying. Everything that's over the edge, overhanging the back edge of the bowl, should be overhanging the back edge of the bowl, and nothing's being pushed up by porcelain.
As far as I can tell, yes, the nozzle piece even looks like it's far enough ahead from the rear of the bowl.
Good.
So it should come out on its own.
That's what we want.
Okay.
That's good.
Yeah.
Okay, step 3 to check
Yeah.
is open the lid all the way. Not just the seat.
Open the lid.
and make sure it's not being.
It can't even impact the back of the
then
thing.
we are perfect there.
Okay.
As long as it's not pushing against the edges of the seat, yeah.
Yeah, there's
right.
lots of space between it and the back.
I'm sure that if this is not actually fully infrared based, it has an infrared option.
Makes sense.
Seeing that black square on the top left there.
Right? Yeah. Unless it's just like it used to be infrared, and so that they were like, just keep the design intact, and you can still use RF, but we'll just leave that.
I would expect that from many companies,
Yeah.
but not from Toto.
No, they have a pretty good eye for what they need to do.
Anyway, last thing you need to check is the seat centered and pointed out vertically, and that we can see already is not the case.
Yeah, we can tell that it is off by it. It's hard to see over here, but this whole area I can touch bowl. We don't want to touch
I think
bowl.
you can see that on that side.
Yeah,
that
is overhanging just a hair. So we want it to just turn just a little bit, which probably means we need to just kind of bump that down by one
in
step.
a way that we don't want. Yeah. So let's unclick it.
Cool. I've never had to do this before, so I'm
okay.
a little interested to see what the process is.
I would hope it's just a finger roll.
It's a big fucking button.
Oh.
This is great.
I mean, let's show it off once you get it out
that's
there.
so cool. Oh, and it just comes out. So this is just a big button that actuates the hooks.
Huge.
That's so good. Okay.
I'll take
Yeah,
that.
thank you. I will assume it's still clean. I was expecting it to be like a thing I'd have to reach inside, but no, of course not. Of course not.
I gotta do a lot of washing of hands here anyway, but
Yeah. All right, so we'll be here for a few minutes doing this.
oh, you haven't seen the button. Great. Oops.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry.
That's okay. I'll keep it out of the bowl.
The button is just up here, and it's on the right-hand side of the toilet if you're facing the toilet.
And then show them the hooks
You
moving.
just push that in, and what that does is it actuates these two metal hooks on top, which then just allow you to slide it out.
That's gotta come
I'd found another hole here that I wasn't sure what it was for, and oh, hey, I found the filter for the
deodorizer.
deodorizer.
I think there's actually, I think you can buy things to put in it so it can give off scent.
You should, because that does not seem like it's going to filter much at all, other than the occasional pube.
There might be a, well, I mean, so the deodorizer on mine, when you sit down, it starts running. You just basically hear fans running. It works so good. In fact, I've actually gone into a bathroom after I've used it. Like after I've used the bathroom and been like, I walk back in like about 5 minutes later for whatever reason, like, oh geez, this was a terrible thing I've done in here. And I'll turn the deodorizer on the seat, and I'll press down the seat for a few seconds to get to activate, and just let it run for a bit. And it sucks all the smell out of the air. Like even what's in the bathroom, it sucks out of the air.
Takes it all out.
Yeah, it's super cool. All right, so we need to move this forward one more pip.
Yeah, I need to stop disassembling this toilet.
Can I? Okay, I can move this now. I did. Okay, I moved it one pip, and I can screw this back down.
Which way?
I moved it forward one because it's like that needs to. We needed to get it to go that way.
Yes.
So
Yep.
that should do that. And God willing, this will all look great when it's done.
How's the torque on that?
It works.
I was just curious if I should have brought my electronic screwdriver along, but generally I think you don't want to do anything electronic drill-wise with porcelain because you can very quickly get to the chunk and
Get to that stage of this is no good anymore.
everything explodes.
Did you want to slide it on this time?
Yeah, please. I would love to give this a slide. Oh, the spring-loaded lid really makes it fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
Start a lot forward from it. Yeah.
Yeah, and then just slides in. Hold up. Yeah, it's almost a silent click, but it's there. That feels good. You want to check it out?
It feels, so it's even along all the different sides. That's not coming off. it is like any other toilet seat. It's going to move around, but there's lots of because there's lots of places it's going to move. But my hope is people are going to sit on it, and it's not going to be like I sat on it, now I start doing a lot of this shit. But I also move on mine a bit. Like I'll be sitting there and be like, oh my fucking legs, and I'll like kind of reorient myself and I'll move around.
If I may, I'm just gonna give it a try.
Sure.
Okay. Oh yeah, but by the time you actually get on it, it's pretty damn
stable. Yeah.
It is a very narrow, I'm finding, saddle though.
Yeah, not terribly accommodating in that way.
Yeah.
You know. Hopefully, when we use it, it will also because I elongated toilet because I like elongated toilets and also elongated thing. But yeah, hopefully we'll be able to. Everyone will be able to aim and use it properly, and yeah. Okay.
There's definitely going to be a sitting toilet for peeing, though.
Yes.
I would not want to be the person who has to clean off this whole hinged area back there.
Yeah.
God, this is the only safe time to touch this toilet.
It's true. Yeah. you can totally do this. I love how like completely weirdly curved it is. Yeah. So the idea is that you could pee into this. You just gotta get you have a smaller target. Yeah. Obviously.
You really gotta.
And it is a little too bad that that's kind of what happens when you put in a washlet, but
it does need space to void itself and then reset for.
That's to do what it needs to do. So you'll notice that the pads are all raised, but that one is
different areas.
Yeah. So this one is raised and this one is raised about equally, but not quite. This one's sunken in just a little bit.
This one's got more of a rounded edge, like the camera bumps.
Yes, it's odd, right? They're all just kind of a little bit different. These two are very close to each other. Also, this has like a rougher surface, and these have a very smooth surface. So I feel like there's like some sort of treatment or something they did on the plastic, or something. But there's almost no pad here. And
Why is that?
The reason for that is that when you get this thing down, when you sit down on this side, this doesn't move. But this,
I can hear, and it's in the hinge.
Yeah, it actuates on this side, and you can hear the click.
There's a micro switch in there. Yeah.
That's what tells the thing that there's somebody riding this. And I thought that was very clever. I guess we're on step 10, which is plug the water intake in.
Yeah.
Or put the water intake in.
Pretty simple.
This seems good. And I need to. There's so much plastic.
Pull your body back around. There we go.
Yeah, I need to let everybody see what I'm doing.
Now we've got the full view. Now we know.
Yeah. Now everyone can see what I'm doing in the bathroom. Is there tape on this, or? Oh, there is. There's just a little bit of tape right here.
That's an elastic band.
Yeah. Okay. Great. This is working out great. Fuck.
Do you need a blade of some sort?
Maybe I'll just leave it. And it can just hold that thing on. Right? Why not? Sure.
No. I'm going to give you a knife.
Thank you. I gotta take this rubber band off.
Here, be careful. It's incredibly dull.
Wouldn't want to do any damage to myself. Okay.
I don't think that's changed since I got it as a Christmas gift when I was 20.
We did it.
Yay.
Okay. So this comes off from there. We'll slide that over there for the time being. We'll pull some of this out, all the trash out there. And it's got a nice actuating whatever. Can we see okay?
We can see that perfectly.
Great. Goes right on, nice and straight. And you just screw it all the way until it's
just tight enough that you won't get any drips.
Yep. That works great. What's next?
After that is connected, we're to install our little rubber nubbin to keep it from banging against the top. I don't think we need to do that.
No, I don't think so either.
Okay. Are you prepared?
I think so.
For step 12.
Yeah. What's step 12? Is it this?
Step 12 is to connect the power.
Yes. All right. We get to hear it start up.
Oh no.
Which in default mode it's going to be at. So obviously there's a lot of cable here.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do some management.
Yeah. We have a lot of rubber bands, so we could actually just try to rubber band this thing together. and that could kind of hold that piece intact. In fact, let's just try to do that from here. Oops.
I mean, we can try it with rubber bands, and that'll make a. If that works out, we can upgrade to a Zop Strop.
Yeah, exactly.
Zippity whiz bang.
Do that like that, and that just kind of holds that together. And plug that in. Bottom. Ooh, we have lights.
Ooh, we have lights.
We have a.
Oh, extension. Hold up.
Did we not? Did we miss it?
We kind of did.
Okay, we'll do it again. We'll do it again. Okay. Let me know when you've got kind of a shot.
I think I have a shot with extension.
Okay. Blue light comes on, green lights come on.
There's our friend.
And just checking, and goodbye. All right.
It's like a little dig dug for your backside.
Isn't that nice?
Diglet, sorry. That's
Diglet, yeah.
Yes.
Well, I guess we don't need tools anymore, so we can
Probably
kind of...
not, yeah.
Or actually, we need to screw a thing into the wall.
We will screw something into the wall.
Okay,
but
move those off.
Next step. Oh, wow. They give you recommended information on what level you should be installing your remote control at.
Okay, all right. Let's go by what they say to do.
Sure. Well, let's start by installing the batteries into the remote control.
I will do that. Right. They didn't put a pull on here, but I guess it's because they figure you can probably get it off. Don't drop the batteries in the soup. Okay. The controller is open, and there's more anti-theft parts installation instruction.
Ooh.
And here's the install screws.
There.
and wall anchors, because they expect you're probably not going to be able to get it onto a place where it's going to belong. And it's got a little piece of plastic across the top.
For competitive viewing.
All right. So mine at home works the same way in that it's, for one thing, it's magnetic on the back, but it's also like you come away like that. You can.
Oh wow, that's nice magnetics.
Yeah, the magnets I think are down here in the bottom, but they.
Do we want to install the anti-theft device?
I don't think it's that necessary. I mean, it's an extra thing to put on, and I'm not really sure it's really needed.
I will leave it with the owner as the instructions state.
Okay. You can always call back in the people who installed it to put it back in, right?
I don't know, it's a 2-week wait time before we can get back to you here.
All right, well.
Yeah, we'll just leave that in there for now.
We'll just have to hope nobody steals it in the meantime. Mm-hmm. Batteries, proper Duracell OEM, not for retail sale.
Hey, love those.
Mm-hmm. And it is just pull this thing down. And
another set of batteries.
Flip it up. Something else somebody can steal to put in their cordless mouse.
Hey, you know what I'm going to do here? Just going to make this safer for everyone.
What a great idea, yeah. And then it's catch this on the back and click.
There she goes.
So fun thing about this, I don't know if we can see this on camera.
I believe so, but yep, let me just zoom in here on you.
Yep. So we've got all the different things that, watching the butt. There's one for like washing your front and everything else. This is, I think, just to turn it on to get it going. But anyway, when you turn it around, there's all the details on here that tell you how to take it up to certain levels.
Yes.
Mine at home has an LCD monitor.
Oh my goodness. I mean, the LCD monitor would be fantastic enough, but those actual buttons are pretty spectacular.
Because these are the things that tell you what temperature do you want the water at, what temperature do you want the seat at. Do you want me to turn on the deodorizer or not? Do you want the auto cleaning modes on or not? Do you want me to pre-spray the bowl when you sit down before you actually start doing anything? When you sit, it'll just go and just spray water around the inside of the bowl so nothing sticks to it.
Hey.
Yeah, it's really cool. Like there's a lot of things you can do. So this is all iconography, and then that's the eco setting because it has a leaf on it.
Of course.
Of course. So I think it's this will be very interesting. I did buy what I thought was the same model as what I had at home. Clearly, they have made some changes to it over the years. Mm-hmm. So, It wants us to make measurements to determine where the thing goes.
It suggests that they should be 760 millimeters from the floor.
Okay.
So 76 centimeters.
If that's true, that would be right here. Is that the base of it? Is where it wants
That's
it?
the base.
Okay, so it wants it to be starting right here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, that would be the easiest way for us to install this, in my opinion.
Is just to be like, this is where this goes. Like we can probably, the thing is that when you sit on it, you want it to be usable by everybody
Yes.
at a way that's like, but it doesn't have to be there. Because if this started at 76, God, it's warming up. Okay, if this started at 76, let's get a look here. 76, that's the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
If the thing was living right here, and you had your knees up, you can still kind of make use of it. I think that's okay. I think you can kind of like reach across, or you can use your hands to reach across here, because maybe you don't want it to ride too far out.
Mm-hmm.
But we're going to move this thing.
Well,
So we could reuse, like we could cover this with that.
I'm thinking I like your thoughts.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Okay, so let's take this off the wall and let's put that here so it kind of covers that and lives in this space.
What
This
I
thing
like
can move over some
most about this, too, is that it means that we can reduce the number of open holes in the wall.
Yeah, right?
So, yeah.
That's what I'd like to do too. So we'll take that off.
Let's figure out how this goes.
And we take this off, which is a tiny...
X?
It's a cross.
Really?
Yeah, from what I can tell. Normally these little set screws are like... Wait, what? No, you're right. It's an Allen key. It's an Allen key.
Okay, just next to you there.
Yeah.
Left-hand side is Imperial, which that probably is.
Probably.
Because it's
Because why wouldn't it be?
we live in a hellscape.
Yeah. You can hear it running since I got up off of it.
Mm-hmm. That means it thinks you're done.
Yeah. I'm sure people are like, why didn't you test it? And it's like, because it doesn't tell us to test it yet.
Yep.
We have to wait.
It has to go through its boot-up procedure.
Yeah. Okay, so... What the... That felt like it fit.
You just fiddling with that. I'm going to show off one piece of amazing construction work in terms of cardboard here that the seat ships with. This is origami on another level.
How the... What the shit? I feel like if you do this and you turn it, it should back off, and it does not.
It just goes ping.
Yeah, it kind of skips, but I don't think the bigger ones will fit. Maybe it's metric.
Oh, well, if that's the case, then just open up to the other side.
Okay, all right, let's try that again. Excuse me.
Nice.
Oh my goodness. What the frig? Like I'm trying it both ways to see, is it going to loosen one way or the other, and it doesn't feel like either way it wants to loosen. James isn't still here, eh? I just get him to take it off the wall. Just be like, you put this here, I think. That's probably not true at all. It probably was the contractors who put it here, but... God damn. You try it.
Sure.
Thank you. I don't know if it's that one. Maybe it's that one.
Okay, so first of all, what you're going up against right there is not a hex, that's just a flat blade.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, okay. All I could see was a black hole, and I could see sides on it, and I was like, that looks like it's hex. I should not be in the trades.
Well, you're not, so hey.
I'm not in the trades.
Working out. Mm-hmm. It's okay, you should also not be in STEM, so.
Oh, hey.
Done and dusted.
Great. Okay.
That's one of those.
That's one of those.
And let's just unscrew that bit then.
Is this really held in place with just the one screw in the wall?
2 screws, it looks like.
Okay. I wonder if they used wall anchors. I mean, I don't mind if they did.
I mean, even if they did, we can just make our own hole around the same area and cover it up.
Yeah. Or we can, if the wall anchor's still good, we could just screw in.
Yeah. But I think it looks like they went directly into drywall here.
Nice.
Just gauging by this sheerly covered screw.
That's fair. It's like, it should go here, right? Yeah, it goes here. Okay, great, done.
So this also means that if we, no, there's probably no stud back there.
Okay, that's good news. I mean, we can shove a wall anchor into one of these holes, I'm sure, if it's not going to hold it.
If we need to.
Yeah, if it's not going to hold it steady.
It feels good. This was once mounted sideways.
Okay.
All right.
Great.
Let's just see if we can get one screw in there while I'm down here.
Yeah. And if not, then just have it come up higher, right? Like.
Oh, I think this is going to be fine.
Okay.
This remote absolutely weighs less than a...
And you're also not going to be yanking on it and stuff. It's just going to sit there.
Exactly.
Yeah. Just want to be sure that it is high enough so that people don't feel like they're bumping their knees into it.
Well,
I mean, if they do, then we'll just move it.
I'm going to give you a second to try it out here, too.
Oh, thank you.
Before we make any final decisions. What I do want to do is just grab this little spirit level here. Actually, we'll do that once we're done, once we get it finalized.
Sure.
Just for now.
Do you want to mark it? Should I get you a... I guess you could just touch the middle of the wall with a screw.
Well, I'm just actually planning to screw it in nice and tight.
Oh, just right now, get it all done. Yeah, that's fair.
That's good. And then I'll just push that in.
Yeah, the weight of the remote, half the weight of the remote is just batteries. Yeah, where is the squatty stool?
It's currently in Studio B.
Oh, okay, we moved it out for the sake of installation.
Yeah.
All right.
And only for that.
Yeah.
Okay, if you want to just put the remote on there and have a seat.
Yeah, we'll see how that works. I think we should maybe both, because you also have higher legs
Good
than
point,
I do too. But all right, so if I sit, and this thing goes on there, and my legs come up, I need to reach over and hit buttons, or I want to hit buttons this way. I feel like that's accessible to just about everybody.
Great.
How about?
I'm happy with that.
Do you feel like you are?
Oh yeah, this is not going to be in my way.
Okay, so then if we mount the toilet paper,
just right there.
yeah, start it here, like a little higher, so the thing hangs here.
So if we're looking
It's like, where do we ultimately want to have the?
we should grab that squatty because I'm going to
Okay.
be I think
Yeah.
I'm the person here with the longest legs.
Great. Okay.
I'm going to get started on second screw here too while you're grabbing that. Second screw? We haven't had first screw yet.
All right. There's a stool. Oh, so yeah. So here's the thing: is that we also, I guess, however you're watching Ian install this. So I went to the store and we bought a couple of these. These are Squatty Potty Originals. Apparently, they are made in Canada.
Oh, gee.
I had no idea about that. There's still things in here. They tout life-changing health benefits.
Like not dying
Yeah.
of colorectal cancer.
But it's, I mean, these are big. I was kind of like, what a goofy-ass thing to exist. There ain't no way I want to be interested in this thing. And then at some point I was like, it's $20. Let's give it a shot. It is so nice. It is so nice to have this. Like, so when we were moving in, I was like, I'm buying one of these for each of the bathrooms. Because if I get caught in the wrong bathroom, I don't want to be like, time to put my feet up, kind of weird, and hopefully. Okay, so if you're gonna lean on your, because you will,
Yeah,
right?
because that's the point.
So we want it here,
I think well, let's get some paper on there too, actually.
or do we want it just higher up so that it's like it's still in a place that makes sense, but you don't feel like you're bumping your.
Yeah, I think you're right. Higher up is better,
Yeah.
and closer is.
But still close enough that it's like you could have it here and it would be okay, or like that's maybe a little low, but maybe here.
Yeah, because remember, I'm going to be the guy with the tallest knees.
Yeah.
Here, and then if we kick that out,
You
that's
still
still
haven't
normal.
bumped into it. It doesn't feel like
I'm
claustrophobic.
Actually, I'm going to hold this here.
Okay.
You back away, and just have a look. Does this look normal-ish? Chat, what do you think? Does this look like a normal bathroom to you?
Yeah, because the only other thing you would do is you could put it on the other side, but then it really feels like it's like claustrophobic.
But then I feel like I'm having to go through there.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be enough.
Okay.
And if we, you know what, if we
So
measure...
you kind of just dead center screw it on the very top of that?
Yeah, exactly halfway up is what I'm thinking.
Okay.
Okay, let's get rid of that. Let's put that
Hand
there.
that to me. You'll want that. You'll need screws for that.
Brand new screws.
Well, it's good because they gave us screws.
Good.
And if it's just like every other Japanese thing, you tear it from the side. Shit, it worked. So excited. And it is also because it's
Great.
yeah,
It's not Phillips.
it's a JIS.
Oh! Sorry,
What happened?
crushed my balls.
Oh, not between the seat.
No, between my legs.
Oh, okay, yeah. There is that danger. God, now we have a seat in our shower, and when I sit down, I have to sit half on it and kind of scooch back, because I did one time sit like right down, and I had to really sit down after that. I was like, oh my God, I've done a terrible thing. That was no good.
I am just going to apologize for saying this, but my God, Beej, you are the oldest person I know.
Yeah, I didn't think I'd be in that position either. Like I was kind of like, oh, I'm having this thing happen to me at this age. I'm like, great.
Okay, there we go. Seems good. And where is set screw number 2?
In my hand.
Ah, thank you.
Yeah, want to be sure you didn't like drop it down the toilet.
Appreciated, because that could have happened.
Yeah.
Everything okay?
Yeah, I think so.
Well-
I think we're gonna get the toilet paper where you want it. So
Okay,
where
cool.
I think we all want it anyway.
It starts where we want it and ends in the usual place.
Yeah.
I'm in the other room and chat just exploded with a bunch of, oh, rip.
Oh yeah, no, that was my balls.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't crush them.
Yeah,
Oh, bummer.
Mhm. Do you wanna give it a ride here to make sure it's about the right height?
Sure.
Okay, wait until he gets that screw in there. We're kind of committed to this, but doesn't necessarily mean that we're committed
Oh,
to
yeah,
it. So.
we can undo holes. It just
Either
takes
height
longer.
or distance is what was going to be necessary.
Yeah.
Let's unscrew. Take that.
And we figure that if there's anybody who's here who's like doesn't have the sheer, they probably want it a little higher than they want it further away.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah.
All right, so that's just gonna go on there.
Good.
Okay.
And a full roll looks like that.
Oh, put it on right, my friend. Jesus.
I did.
Your whole household's messed up.
Yeah.
I surrender to you the seat of your office.
Oh, lovely. Oh. Oh, ooh, it's warm.
Yeah.
It's so warm.
Not because of Ian either.
No, that's really warm.
Yeah,
If
better
you
living through electricity.
If
This
you
is,
spend
this is much better.
Great.
This is great, yeah.
if you spend some time on there, you'll feel that your butthole starts to get a little bit cooler because of the fan that's also running.
All right, we'll get the half load one on it again. I'll do it again. God damn it. It's because somebody convinced me you hang them backwards because if your cat comes over to play with them, then it spins and spins and
If
never
you're a cat
unravels.
person.
Yes.
Yeah.
You don't have a cat.
Used to.
Yeah, but you don't currently.
It's true still.
We also don't have a cat at the moonbase.
Yeah, it's true. You get used to a certain way of doing things.
All right, fair enough.
So anyway. Yeah, so
Dang, that's...
all the controls for like
Oh
heating
my
and stuff
God.
are all on the back. So we'll have to read the manual and make sure that we've got it set. We haven't actually tested the water yet.
Only 2 profiles?
Yes.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So one for you, one for Paul.
Yeah. How are you going to test the water?
Oh,
From a distance?
yeah.
Yes.
Cool. All right.
And shortly from now.
How
Take
are
your time. You still got like 45
Oh,
50
good God,
minutes.
yeah.
great? This has been awesome.
I do want to. Oh, we haven't had a chance to show off this soft close.
Yeah, it's so slow.
Yeah.
I really like it. The one at home is like that too. I actually literally have to grab it and like like really like give it a good push, and it gets halfway down and then stops and then
It
lowers
actually,
itself.
okay, so it doesn't stop
Yeah,
itself
you can't
all
just
the way.
you can slam it if you want to, but you have to really like reef on it and give it a good go. But yeah.
I was worried you were in a situation where it just stays like up a few degrees all the time.
Yeah, no. I mean, also though, because like when I flush the toilet, I shut the lid
Oh
first.
yeah, you should.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
how you keep things from getting on your toothbrush.
Yeah, and I don't like our other toilet in the moonbase only has the seat. It has the open seat like this one does. It has the commercial seat. I don't like that, and I might buy a different seat for that one because it's like I don't like the idea of it spraying whatever around the bathroom, especially because I noticed there's a bag of makeup in there now.
Yes, there is. Yeah.
Yeah, and the last thing you want is you want to be sitting and flushing and having that go all over your makeup.
And then put that in your eyes.
Yeah.
That's real good design.
Yeah. What's next?
Next is trial run.
Okay.
Well, yeah, we're anchored by mag. Let's make sure we're all correct here.
Yep.
Okay, so temporary place for remote control and position determined by 14, and confirm signal reception of A1. So you are going to want to hold down the butt section.
Yeah.
So that we know that it's working.
Doing that.
And then you're going to want to push the butt wash button. That sounds correct. Then you're going to want to open the lid and just confirm that, our friend has come out.
He came out. Okay.
Yeah, and then you would push the stop button, but that's already been done.
Okay. Because I guess it detected nobody was actually sitting on it. I don't know how. I wasn't pushing on it hard enough.
Once you've tested the sidewall, then you can go to the actual mounting. So we got a little ahead of ourselves and mounted before we should have, but that's fine. Then,
Yes.
trial run.
Hey.
Mise en service.
All right. So they're going to come through that camera, I think.
I think that's where they're going to want to go.
They can see okay?
Let's double check.
Okay. Oh, hi. Hi there.
He's still there.
It's still doing some shit.
Figuring itself out.
What you doing? Just going to sit on this. Stool for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Where is the stop button?
Right at the top.
Oh, the one that has it's a black square.
Again, it's bad UX. We
Yeah.
should let people know what a button is.
Should
before.
we actually mount that fucking card behind this? Like, there's room for that, right? Like, maybe we should take it off and mount the card there?
Let's do that at the end.
Okay, yeah, you bet. All right. So what's our next move?
So the next move is to open the water shutoff valve.
Ah, that's this thing.
There we go.
Are we dry? We are dry everywhere.
Good.
Okay, we'll see what happens when we have a full tank too, though.
And then we're going to, once again, hold down the edge to
Okay.
engage the switch. Press the butt wash.
And then we're
And we
gonna,
can choose. Oh, and you want to make sure that you choose oscillating on and off as well.
which is the first one, I think. I think it's
No,
that
that's a
one.
different one. We're
Oh.
looking at here, rear, and then written underneath. Oh, that's the back side, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so we know what we're gonna hit. We're gonna hit rear,
We hit that one.
and we're gonna hold down this thing for. So just hold down this, press butt wash, which is rear. Okay. Right, and if you press rear twice, it goes to oscillating mode. Okay.
Okay. And
That's how mine works at home too.
Yeah.
This is very
and we're gonna
warm.
hold it down for 1 full minute.
Do we? Oh, so we're okay. We're gonna combine those steps essentially, or they're meant to be
Yeah,
combined.
you're gonna hold down the
I'm holding that down.
Yep. Push butt wash. Get your cup ready,
Mm-hmm.
and then hold down for 1 minute. So we're gonna execute a whole 1 minute butt wash session.
All right. Come on, baby. It's trying to get water into the system, I think.
Yeah, it's gotta prime itself.
Here we go.
Hey! Look at that. Do you need another hand to engage oscillation?
I don't know if I can. Can you press it?
Oh!
That's the soft mode. That's what that
okay.
is. Okay, you press it again. That's the hard mode.
Yeah.
So I think what you want is the one with the arrows going back and forth. Yep,
Oh, yeah, there
we
it
go.
goes. And the other one is...
There's a pulsating mode as well.
That's the pulsation. Ah! Turn it up. Turn it down. Maximum. Oh. Okay, let's stop it.
Okay. I think the one really up front must be the front spray then.
I think so. I think, yeah. Huh.
That's so good.
Well, you know what the manual says right now? Installation complete.
Hey! All right.
So yeah, your next step is to information for the installer, fill in the necessary information on the warranty card, and be sure to hand it to the customer. Please explain the features and operation of the product to the customer. I think we just did that. The product will be used for will not be used for a long time. Like when it's installed in an unoccupied, newly constructed building or Airbnb, you turn off power at the breaker.
And it's cleaning itself right now. You can see it running water through the thing to try to clean itself. So it's basically washing off the wand. So if you turn it on while you're using it, you're going to get crud all over it, right?
Yeah, if you accidentally...
Yeah, if you're actually like shitting on top of it because you're like, oh my god, my ass is on fire and I need to wash it off while I'm busy just losing it.
A triangle of sadness situation.
Yeah, you can do that, but then when you're done, it at least will be like, I'm just gonna blow water out the thing, and then I'm gonna extend and retreat the nozzle so I can wash the nozzle off completely. And it does that all, so you don't have to look at it. This is model SW3084 for anyone thinking.
If anyone wants to purchase one on their own.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's great. Let me get at that remote control.
Yeah, you bet.
So we can start.
We'll get the thing on the back, eh? And that way everyone can read it and they'll know what the things do. Okay.
I'm going to peel off the protective layer on this too. Yes.
From the drawer there, could you pass me the square clamshell? Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Stop rear soft front dryer oscillate pulsate wand clean pressure position user. User. You want to... Ooh, no, that's odd to sit on like that.
Yeah. And now, of course, now that it's plugged in and it's moving,
Yep.
as soon as you sat down...
It has prepared itself for my waist.
Yeah. So, yeah, this has... I believe everything by default is already set up on it. In fact, while Ian is doing this, I'm going to just have a look at the remote, because it's like various operations and energy saver features, and I'm going to have to turn all these things on. The manual for this thing...
is not inconsequential.
This is all like... so various operations that are controlled by the remote are from page 18 to 30. So there are 13 pages full of remote control stuff. I don't know if that's maybe a little bit better to see there.
That is great, because that means that at least someone is putting some value into manuals these days.
It's really like, I think it's quite well written. It definitely has that kind of Japanese feel of we can't fit all the words in here, so what we'll do is we'll use the condensed version of the typeface so it fits on 2 lines. Let's see here. Right. So where is the remote right now?
It should be in your hand.
In my hand. Okay. So on the back, if I hit this button, we can see that toilet seat temperature is at maximum. So I'm going to turn that down to minimum. Warm water temperature is already at minimum, so I'm going to set it
to maximum.
I'm going to put it on maximum?
No.
Maybe medium. Let's
start on medium. We don't want people to like burn their...
Yeah. Drying air temperature is already set to medium as well, so I think I'm just going to leave it on that. Power on off. If you press it for 3 seconds or longer, it turns the power off. So that, I guess that means that the thing turns off? Whatever. Saving energy. Timer, energy saver. So we can either set the... power off is down there. Oops. Timer, energy saver, or auto energy saver. We can read more about that. Setting confirmation. The current setting can be discerned from the LEDs. And then wand cleaning. You can just say, I want to clean the wand with it extended. So let's go to pages 24 and 25. Okay, if I press Auto Energy Saver button, setting changes each time the button is set. The Energy Saver LED turns on. And now it is on. But if I want it to save energy during time, so for example, if I want to save energy from 1 a.m. to 7 a.m. for 6 hours.
What? It has time-based
Yeah.
systems?
So when 1 a.m. comes around, I can hit the timer button, and then if the 6-hour button is lit, it will do it for 6 hours, or if the 9-hour button is lit, it'll do it for 9 hours.
Professor,
Yeah.
how does your toilet know what time it is?
It doesn't.
Okay, good.
It just counts from when you press the timer button.
Ah, okay.
So I may be like, oh, well, if it's 11 o'clock here, and I know that I want it to start again 9 hours later, to be like, I want to turn on and we'll go to like full power at that point, then I can set it to 9 hours from 11 o'clock at night. It means I have to be here at 11 o'clock to hit the button.
I mean, Desert Bus is coming.
Yeah, so maybe just auto energy saver's fine for now. And then what's the next step? Right, so there are settings to turn on wand cleaning. You can set whether or not to clean the wand automatically, set whether or not to spray mist in the bowl automatically, whether or not to deodorize automatically after sitting on the toilet seat, and whether or not to power deodorize automatically after standing up, which we keep hearing every time that you get up, the thing runs. And then you can turn the beep on or off, and you can lock the settings or not. By default, everything is on, so it will always clean the wand automatically. It will always spray mist. It will always deodorize as soon as you sit down, so the thing will run, and it will power deodorize the moment you stand up.
It's a pretty good standard setup.
Yeah, I think that'll be okay.
Yeah.
I wish this had the remote minded, because it's all written on the screen. You have to go menu through it, but it's like, at least you can see it on the screen.
Yeah, before you put that away. I'm just curious about one thing here. Let's see if this is, in fact... can you activate the switch? Nice work, machine. You aren't infrared at all.
Yeah. Yeah, because they're like, you can install this anywhere. We could have put it in Studio C and let Paul just activate it whenever he wants.
1 second.
You're absolutely right.
I'm going to the friend zone.
Okay, I'm going to press down the thing.
All right, I'm at the front door.
Okay. Nothing is happening.
Okay, good.
Try again.
I'm in your office.
Nothing is happening.
Okay.
It's probably
I'm
written
outside in the hallway.
Okay. Nothing is happening.
Huh.
Wow, so that's how it's saving power. It's only good within probably about a meter or two.
Hold it down one more time.
Yeah?
And I'm covering over the IR this time too.
Nope. Nothing.
Nothing?
There we go. So it's good within about 2 meters.
Yeah.
And that's probably how it keeps the power so low.
What an interesting device.
And then there's a bunch of things on how to clean it and what you should do to clean it. And I'm probably going to have to like leave this out and let the custodian know that it's like, when you're cleaning this, you need to be cautious.
They'll need to know.
Yeah, you might need to read this, or if you don't know about it, then just all you got to do is come in here, lift the toilet seat, clean all of our leavings, and then close the toilet seat, and don't touch anything else.
Don't stick your finger in any sockets or slots or portcullises.
Yeah. It's
Portcullisae?
Portcullisae. You said you pulled this thing out.
Yes.
Because there's supposed to be, it says there's, to clean the deodorizing filter, you remove this thing, then you clean it with a toothbrush, and then so there should be a filter that plugs into it? No, you literally just plug this back. This is the deodorizing.
This is the deodorizing filter.
So somehow this thing that is empty
will deodorize.
Those tiny little holes must do something.
Huh.
I don't know if I can show that off any better than I already did. It's just a bunch of little holes.
I'll zoom in here.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah.
It's a very, very coarse filter.
Yeah, and I don't know what it's supposed to do to deodorize, but maybe just the fact that it's forcing air through the device, through those holes, causes something to happen. I don't know.
Maybe the airborne feces that we're only smelling is much larger than we think it is.
I guess. There's no actual filter, but whatever. There's a water filter drain valve that you should clean once every 6 months. I didn't know. Oh, if you think the water pressure has weakened.
Oh, okay.
We have really soft water here, though, so maybe it won't be that much of a problem.
Yeah, I haven't had many problems with mineral buildup.
Yeah, so that might be okay. It tells you how to like drain it and do other things. So we'll have to just keep this like.
That's gonna have to go in the file. Is what's gonna.
This goes in the file. You're right. This goes in the file. Yeah. Well, then we'll put this over here. I think we're done.
Yeah. Shall we gather back in the studio for any last thoughts?
I think that's a great idea.
All right. We'll meet you back there.
Take this box. They're not going to shut up about it until we do it.
No, they're not, which means...
Gotta go wash our hands.
All right, well, yeah, you know what? We'll have to wash our hands. You told us to.
And we're back on a break.
And we're back and clean.
The one thing we didn't do is take a drink out of the washlet. Because this would be the only time we could probably do it and still have it be safe.
Yep, you're...
But I don't know for sure.
Yeah, oh.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just water. Mm-hmm. And
if they've tested it, they've probably tested it on clean water, obviously.
one would
anyway.
hope, yep.
You know, there's already been like a lot of squirting running through the system.
Yep.
So
Like, we're probably safe for the next 10 minutes.
Yeah.
But,
It's, I mean, it's the same way as like intellectually, you know that the water in like the tank of the toilet should be fine, but you're still like me.
yeah, like I could use that to drink out of in an emergency. It's like, are you really sure?
Well, it's like the one of my favorite memes I saw today. What's an incredibly stupid idea that actually works?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I drank creek water and got 6 days off work.
it worked.
Yeah.
It's yeah, it's coming right out of the supply, the cold water supply line. So that's fine. The one thing, of course, we didn't do is test to see whether or not how hot the water gets, because we ran it for a while, but we didn't let it have time to actually. Because I think there's an internal reservoir that it will heat up, and then it continues to heat that water for it. Because when I use mine at home, it's good for about a minute and a half. I'm serious. It's good for about 90 seconds, and sometimes that's just you want to be there a while.
That's a pretty significant amount of time to be.
Yeah, and then it starts to cool off, and I don't know if that's because it's like, hey, it's dangerous for me to run my heater this long, or what happens.
I would say no. You probably got a tank there because any sort of inline heater would have to be incredibly hot to maintain that sort of temperature.
Yeah. So it's I'm super pleased about this.
I'd be really curious to see what other liquid tanks we could hook that thing up to. Like Tang would be an interesting one.
Oh yeah, just shoot like
Gasoline.
Yeah, I think anything it could probably as long as you can get it to something. Miso soup.
Yeah. Yes, you get the miso soup and the
Vodka. Yeah.
Vodka would be a good one as well.
No.
I'm very happy that we
Cheer
were
250, drink the toilet water. Thank you, James. You know, hey, I drank toilet water and got 6 days off work. Are you happy to have a are you happy to have this accoutrement?
It's not something that I've ever wanted.
Okay.
It's now that it's something I have access to on a more regular basis.
Yeah.
Probably going to try it
Okay.
a bit more. But I think I
Just to actually clarify, as somebody who is also not, shall we say, experienced in the ways of this, this isn't going to go off by itself,
No.
right?
No, it does not. So that is.
It will not go off unexpectedly. You have to push the button on the thing.
So I have to warn everybody. You talk first.
Well, yes, I was just going to say that we've determined that it is radioactive,
Yeah.
radio based.
Yeah.
Which means I'm absolutely going to need to get myself a Flipper Zero at some point. Because I've got some radio signals to
snoop?
Yep.
Yep.
And slurp.
That'll be good, because if the remote ever breaks, we'll just get you to make us a new one. And it'll just be a madman's, just a mad scientist rig on the side of the toilet.
Yeah. But yeah, I think it's something I'm interested in trying out, as I said.
Yeah. So there will be there is always a learning curve for this kind of situation. And of course, we can turn everything off on it. And so automatically nothing will actually happen if you don't want it to. Like we could turn off the deodorizer, stuff like that. Like, it's disorienting to come in and sit down on a toilet seat and then hear an engine start up, right? Like you hear the fan start blowing and you're like, if you're not prepared for that, it can be very off-putting.
No.
And so I think what I'm going to need to do is just tell everybody that's like, when you come in and sit down, you're going to sit, you're going to hear a moo, like the kind of like just kind of demo it to be like, here's what you're going to hear. Here's what's going to happen.
Going to sit down. It's going to do a little startup.
Yeah.
Boom,
Yeah, exactly.
Little startup chime.
Like a Mac OS chime. You're gonna hear the hum of it doing a thing, and then you're gonna hear the fan start up, and then you're also gonna hear water spray in the bowl.
Which is that's a big surprise.
It's not gonna hit you. It's not gonna do anything. The whole point is just to put water along the inside of the bowl. It's a pre-mist, so that if anything hits the side of the bowl, it just slides right down.
Yeah,
into the
it makes it easier to clean.
Yeah, you never have to hit those buttons. You don't have to do anything to do with any of that stuff if you don't want to. The instructions in English are now all, thank you for putting that on there. And it's like, yeah, you can just use that toilet. The worst thing about that toilet, because it's still a toilet, and the worst thing about that toilet right now is, as we said, it's got a smaller target if you want to stand and pee into it. And I guess the other thing is that because the fact that it is taking up some space there, the available area for you to hit is like even sitting it's going to be different. The seat does feel a little different underneath you because it does curve up behind you a little bit. So it's like, this feels odd. So that's, I think, probably going to be about the worst thing, is just kind of get used to that idea. But yeah, we'll. I'm excited to see how this goes. I had actually, when we were doing installs here, I'd even said, give me an electrical line in the bathroom in our secret bathroom, in Studio C bathroom, just in case we decide to do that one in the future. But also because if it's like, we don't want to have it in the main one anymore, people are like mad about it, and then I'm like, well, then I can move it to the secret bathroom and I can use that one all the time if I want to.
It's perfectly movable.
Yeah.
I personally would love a urinal in the office. Yeah,
okay.
I think that's it. Speed is what I'm looking for generally in those cases.
Yeah.
And that is
Okay.
that is actually one of my big problems with the bidet in general. Is the drying process. It adds such a long time.
Bless you.
Oh, one more.
Gesundheit. You're so good
Excuse
looking.
me. It's the procedure.
Yeah.
That, like, how long does it take you to dry yourself off? And do you get sufficiently dry?
Oh, well, so what I do is I wash, I drip dry a bit, right? Like you finish wash, you're kind of done. You just let the rest of the water run off, and then I just stand up, and I'm done.
You just go with
My whole asshole is moist.
With a moist, okay.
I don't care. Like that, I was trying to do the thing before with like turning on the drying thing and waiting, and it does work. Like you can wait to do it, and it is warm air, so it actually dries you quite fast.
Good.
But I'm like, I'm done. Get up, pants up, and I'm just like, whatever. My butt's a little bit moist. It's a little wet back there, and I'm like, I don't care. It's not bad for me because it's all clean water, and all the stuff is gone. And it just dries out like real fast. I mean, also because I have really dry skin, so any moisture that lands on my body, like I can get out of the shower and I can drip dry in about 2 minutes.
Okay, yeah.
And not even have a towel on me, and just all the water in my body is just kind of like, I think some of that's going to go on my skin now, and it just does that. So
I've tried to make it very clear to people over the years that I do not like being unexpectedly wet.
Right.
And and that leads to the choosing not to be wet as often as possible.
Sure.
When I go to wash my hands, I'm there. I'm 12 times thinking it out. I'm folding that thing over, and if there's a place with hot air dryers, oh boy, I'm there until my hands are done.
Yeah, you want to be bone dry.
Until I'm snapping.
Whereas for me, if I dry myself off that much, my hands will itch. There'll be a problem. So I have to get as close to dry as possible, and because it's like if I'm really doing that, I'm taking a lot of oil off my body, which I can't really do either. So a little bit different for me. I mean, the dryer is built in, but also you can literally just take like a few squares of toilet paper, fold them up,
and
then just pat yourself dry in the back and throw it in the toilet, and it's like you're still clean, you know, you're touching clean whatever, and it's like I don't expect us to use any less toilet paper than we've been using. Probably. I think everyone's just going to still do the same thing.
I think that's the other issue. Like, Step one, let people know this still works like a normal toilet. There are new functions, but it will still operate as this toilet always has for you in that respect.
But if you want to try it, you can.
And this extra toilet paper thing is not something I've ever considered as well, because my big thought process with everyone who talks about bidets, like, oh, you get yourself so incredibly clean and you can deal without toilet paper. And like, I don't want that. I want myself dry and clean.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, and there's that. I know there's the whole thing of that I've seen whenever they're the advertisements, right, where it's like they finally kind of honed in on a thing, which is like, you know, when you're done using the washroom, you know, like it. What do they say again? It's like, if you've been outside and sweating all day and rolling in mud and doing all sorts of stuff, do you go in the house and grab a dry paper towel and rub yourself off and be like, I'm clean? It's like, no, you wash yourself, right? So then why would you not do that to your butt? It's kind of the advertising thing that they do. It's like, you should do it there too. It's like, sure, why not? And so, but then at the end of that, you still dry yourself off. And so I think that, yeah, it's all about personal comfort and what you want to do anyway. And I would never say to somebody, it's like you're cleaning your asshole wrong. I would never say that to people. It's kind of like, that's not fair and that's not okay. It's like everyone's got to do what's right for them. And I found a new way and I like it, and we could do it here. And I'm really glad I get a chance to do that, because it's a quality of life improvement for me. And I hope for other people too. I know there's other people here who have used washlets when they've gone to Japan or they've gone other places, they've used them before and they like them. And I'm like, I am doing that. And also, just a little bit, I think it's going to be interesting when we have people visit for the PPR.
You are correct.
When we have guests and they come in like, yo, Loading Ready Run's got a space age washroom for some reason. We'll have to get like ground effects lighting.
I think
all
so.
sorts of stuff.
We're going to need to implant a LCD screen in the side of one of those walls too, just to have a nice dynamic landscape that people can stare at.
Yeah, something that you see in like the back of a taxi, and then when you're done using it, it'll put up a thing saying you owe us $23.
Yes.
Damn. You brought up. I know we can change to something else,
anytime.
and I'm vamping, and maybe Graham's ready. I don't know, but you brought up a cool thing. There was a TED Talk a while ago where this dude was like, here's a great way to dry your hands. And I am going to print off posters to put in our bathroom, because I think I did it at the library I worked at. And the idea that he had is he picked a number. He said 12. 12 is a popular number among a lot of different people.
Yeah, I'm a little bit. I don't like the way the examples that he gave for it as it being a normal number, but other than that, 12 makes sense.
12 is a number that is like, it's divisible by a lot of. It has a lot of divisors. There's like 12 apostles. There's like 12 this. There's 12
months,
that. Yeah, it's 12 months. It's like 12 is easy enough for people to remember. And his thing is like, when you wash your hands and you get done washing them, you shake your hands 12 times.
And vigorously.
Yeah, you shake them till there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That only took about less than 12 seconds.
Here's the real trick, though. It's the next part.
Yeah, is you get your paper towel.
One sheet.
Yeah, and I see a lot of people out there getting like 2 or 3 or 4 paper towels. Grab one. You've got most of the water off your hand into the sink now. Grab one. Fold it.
Most important aspect, is the folding.
Yeah.
Because that allows a better wicking environment for the water to pull water off of your hands as you're rubbing them around.
And so you're going to say, well, wait, that means that paper towel is going to tear, right? Like you try to do it and it's like it's going to tear. It's like, no, because when you fold it, there's something called intertertial stiffening. And it's the two pieces that are rubbing against each other. They're actually reinforcing each other so they don't fall apart. So if you fold it and you pat dry your hands or rub dry your hands or whatever, you can just throw away one paper towel. You can walk to the doorway and you can use that to open it up and then throw the paper towel away or whatever.
It's so good.
It's so nice, and it feels like you have found a weird little like cheat to washing your hands that is way more efficient and works better. And I like try any towel that I like. Right now we have like the Select-A-Sheet ones.
Yep.
So I get a piece of towel that's like this big. I still fold it in half and I pat dry my hands, and it is enough. It gets your hands dry.
And that was what blew my mind the first time I tried this was how much drier my hands were after it than it would have been if I just grabbed two sheets and crumpled them as I pushed them around my hands.
And then throw it away and walk out there like my hands still feel kind of weirdly moist. Yeah, it's it's interesting.
I remember I've seen that TED Talk.
Yeah, it was a TED Talk.
Yep.
Well, I've seen that TED Talk, and I thought it was interesting. I also distinctly remember like the top comment. I think it was on YouTube or whatever, being like, "Really? This is what TED Talks are about now?"
You should see what TED Talks are about now. Let's be honest.
TEDx.
No longer term of honor.
Yeah. I mean, the whole point, as I remember him doing the TED Talk, is be like, I'm trying to cut down on water and waste. And it's like, wow, that is just a little thing, but it's like, right, it is something that you maybe don't think about. And
it's something that we try to drill into everyone all the time, is absolutely keep... Hey, it's funny that efficiency in hand washing might come up at some point in the near future after that video was released.
Yeah.
We might want to do that.
yeah.
Anyway. Let's...
That feels really good, actually, the install. How do you think that went? Let's cover that before we go over to Graham.
Final thoughts here on the installation. That was smooth.
Yeah?
Like I could have done that in a half an hour. I know that you have done that in a half an hour.
Yeah.
Did learn a lot about toilets that I didn't know about before. Like just how thin that porcelain is, how you can use these. You can use things other than nuts to secure your toilet seat, and I think that's really important because that allows for some of that wiggling to occur without having the seat instantly bust directly off the top of the toilet.
Yeah, and something that I like too, because I originally was looking at getting like a Brondell bidet or like one of these other cheaper ones. Neo Lux, I think, is another one they have on Amazon. Looking at a bunch of these different ones. I bought the Toto ultimately, but when I installed it, I realized it's like, oh, well, actually, all of these seats are even just. I know people who just get the cold water ones. They're like, "F it, I'm just gonna buckle down and maverick this shit." Right?
The ones that are literally just the sprayers from kitchens.
Yeah. Yeah, those are the ones that really get me. The guy who just gets like it's just a T-line, it's just a hose, and it's just a thing I go and I go back there
cold water.
And I just like I give her, and it's like people who do that, it's like more power to you. But that idea of like it can be that simple to change a toilet seat. It can be that simple to install a washlet. It can be that simple to do that. You can do that in a rental. Like if you're living in an apartment, you can do that in your rental.
As you saw, it was everything we did was completely reversible and would be in the same amount of time that we would, other than making holes in the wall for the toilet paper. And whatnot. Something else about that too. Yeah, this is exactly what the show Tinker Tailor is all about. Fortnightly on Thursdays at 5 till 8 p.m. on Loading Ready Run.
And you're having actually one coming up on the Sub-a-thon later.
Yes, I am. But I wanted to continue on with that thought because toilets, it's a quality of life upgrade you can make for yourself.
Yeah.
And there are so many of those sorts of things that you can do to your home, whether you own or rent, that you may not be aware of it. I know in BC, because I've looked into it recently, anything up to the actual wiring of the house is yours to command. So if you want to go through and swap out all of your outlets with ground fault or arc fault, you can do that yourself.
If you want to take the outlet off your wall and install one that has USB ports on it, you can do that yourself.
Or Wi-Fi.
Yeah, or smart plugs. You know, like there's a lot of that stuff you can do.
Have you wanted a dimmer for your dining room? Absolutely, you can add that yourself. In fact, I did. My previous rental place was full of smart adapters and switches, and I had to not install those in the new place because I have aluminum wiring.
Ah, okay. So, I mean, you can do some of that if you tail it out properly, but that's a pain in the ass.
I have been.
You need goo and stuff.
I have been looking into that and looking into the pieces necessary. Thankfully, Amazon does have torque screwdrivers at a reasonable price.
Oh, good.
So we'll probably be doing pigtailing that way.
If you want to, if you're like, I'd rather just contact a technician to do it, though, I know a good electrician who did all my pigtailing for my place, and it was cheap. Like it was before we moved in, but he did my entire place for like $250, and he touched every single receptacle and lighting thing and everything, and I couldn't believe. Well, I mean, he didn't because what he did is he teaches his apprentice how to do it. His apprentice goes around and does it, and he checks all his work, and he's like, "Okay, you were fine."
$250 though is I would pay that actually.
Yeah, that's not bad.
That's barely over the cost of the material.
I know.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's going to do it here for Tinker Tailor Soldier Fry for this week. No, this is in fact not even for this week because we'll be back on Friday. You will be here in the building, I'm sure, but you'll probably drop by later. But we'll be bringing in Dandy Geek Ben to help us out with a special assembly. For this 20th anniversary. I'm not giving away any details yet.
That's cool.
But
all right.
You should tune in on Friday next week when that is set to occur.
Awesome.
And it's absolutely going to occur because you maniacs keep giving us those subs and bits here on our 20th anniversary Sub-a-thon. And we want to thank everyone who's donated for this particular run and throughout the history of Loading Ready Run in general. We couldn't do this without you, and because of you, we are now doing this.
Yeah. All right, Paul, let's welcome those subs.
No, that's not till next Friday.
Yeah, I know,
Yeah,
right?
I know.
Mm-hmm. All right, we're going to be doing some Destiny in just a minute here, but as just as a programming note, I'm going to take the stream down and then bring it right back up. But Twitch likes to bring it down every 48 hours. We've been currently live for 32 hours. So
better to do it
and we
now
don't want
when you're here.
we don't want it to go down overnight or something weird. So we're gonna take it down and then immediately come back. So that will be happening, and you be coming back for some Destiny.